One of the things that really stuck out, the importance of this event, and obviously we want to honor these wonderful women who've done great things in the community and their businesses. But for me, the most powerful thing is that it encourages others. When we see people who are doing well, it encourages other women and other people in general to go out and chase their dreams. So I want to thank and honor the honorees for your achievements, and again, thank you. And at this point, I'm going to bring up Melanie Price, who's actually a former First State Community Loan Fund borrower, a Women's Business Center advisory member, and she's going to give some remarks. Melanie?
We are doing some wonderful things, not just in Delaware, but in our country. We really are. I am excited about where we've been and where we're going. So right now, we are talking about her story and our history. One of my favorite books says, "We overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the words of our testimony." Your testimony is to help to build other people. And that's what we're going to be doing on today. And I am very, very excited about it. Now, as Van was talking, I had written all of these notes. And I said to myself, my success didn't just start with me. As a matter of fact, I thought in the very beginning, when I first started business and I received the vision, and as I got the vision, all I could see was the vision. I don't know if you know what I mean by that, but if you've ever been in an airplane, and as you are descending, you can see the beginning of the road and you can see the end of the road. When you're first in business, all you can see is the vision, the end, the outcome. But how many of you know that it's a journey that you have to take to get to the vision? It's a journey, and we don't know that automatically early on in the business. So I didn't automatically understand that. And that's what First State Community Loan Fund did for me. My business would have probably been in that 50% that fails the first 5 years. I'm almost certain of it. I was telling somebody that earlier, that I'm almost sure that we would have been in that 50% that failed. Had it not been for the village that I was able to create on purpose. And we have to be purposeful about our vision, about our circle of influence and who we put in it. And the very first organization in my village was First State Community Loan Fund. Give them a hand. They were the very first. As a matter of fact, when I found them, I was probably almost ready to go under, because this is what I did. I had the vision. You get the vision. I was working as a public school teacher, and I saw an issue. And the issue that I found was, while I was a teacher, at every professional development meeting, all we talked about was this achievement gap. And what this achievement gap was at the time was African American boys, at the time in the city of Wilmington, and everybody else, and how wide this gap was. Well, 12 years later, we're still talking about the same achievement gap. But this achievement gap now has a new name, and that name is low income and Hispanics. Low income children and Hispanic children, 21% of them are passing a proficiency test. So I had found a problem. That was a problem. I was working at the time as a counselor, and I was meeting with parents, and most of the parents had a common thread. For the most part, they were minority women, single parents, they were low income, and they were having difficulty with their children. That's the reason why they were on my caseload. So I found a common thread, I found a problem, so I had my vision. And my vision was, I told my husband I wanted to open up a daycare. I opened up the daycare, and I just knew that all I was going to do was play with kids and help parents. Can I tell you, probably 8 months later, I was almost out of business. Because there's a whole business side that I didn't take into account. And that's when I was able to meet up with First State Community Loan Fund. I got my very first, and which I probably should have got it early on, I got my first microloan. And just to move the story forward, I probably got 3 loans afterwards. But the loan that made the biggest difference for me, let me tell you how things work. This is what happened for me. I had been renting my property for about 9 years. $11,000 I was paying a month. I'm giving y'all my business. I'm giving you my business. $11,000, never missed a payment. One day, out of the blue, someone comes from M&T Bank, and he says, tall man, and he comes in, he said, you've been leasing for a long time. I said, I have, sir. He said, if you do the math, you probably could have paid for a building. You're probably right. He said, it's time for you to purchase. And I knew that I wasn't in any situation to purchase. However, I had been working with First State for a while, so they had been building me, and they had been encouraging me, and they had been putting me in different training situations. So I was ready. When he came, and this is what he said to me. He said, give me everything I need, and I'm going to help you get this building. They did something they had never did before. That's why I know that all things are possible for you. Everything is possible for you. This is what they did. 4 institutions came together. They came together and they made that work for me. I went from a 3,000 square feet building to a 12,000 square, give that a hand, 12,000 square feet building. Things are possible. But early on, my first meeting, with First State Community Loan Fund, they said, if you get me everything that I need, that's what they said. And I think that that's when we run away. When we see the list of things that they're telling us that they need, and many of it is your financial business, a lot of us run away. That is not the time to run. That's the time to give them everything that they need. They made a difference in my life. So if you don't have First State Community Loan Fund in your village, I want to encourage you. They didn't tell me to say any of this, but I know what they did for me, because later on, I ran into another organization called We Think. By the time I got involved with We Think, it made all the difference. I was in First State Community Loan Fund, the Women's Business Center. Can we give a hand for Sarah? She took the baton and never stopped running. She took the baton and she never stopped running. We applaud you on today. But I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you on today. We just keep from going from one level to the next. But the only way that we do that is through binding arms and making connections one with another. Thank you.
So I'm not quite sure how I'm supposed to follow that. But thank you, Miss Melanie. I call her Miss Mel. She is a great supporter of the Women's Business Center and First State Community Loan Fund, as you can see. And for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Sarah Crawford Jones. I'm the program director for the Women's Business Center at First State Community Loan Fund. For those of you who are not positive on who the WBC is, we are a technical assistance program of the Small Business Administration, and I would like right now to recognize our representatives. Our past representative DOTAR is Ms. Jadelle Hawkins. I'm not sure where she's sitting. Wave your hand or wave or sit up. Thank you. And also our new but old, because she used to be our DOTAR, is Ms. Ellen Herbert. So I want to recognize them for their support and in the Women's Business Center. So what we do at the Women's Business Center, we give technical assistance to businesses targeting women, minorities, and underserved communities. But we also serve men, so don't be discouraged if you want to come. We are serving our clients with one-on-one counseling, technical assistance meaning training programs, starting from every level, idea, concept, and existing businesses. So if you're an existing business and you need some help, we're here for you. If you have an idea and you need to flush it out, we're here for you. So we have those training programs that you need. We have a in-class business planning course called Passport to Business Success, and we are one of the nationally known business centers in the nation for our number of completed business plans. We are now partnering with, thank you. We are now going to be partnering with Delaware State University to make that a certificate program and to also receive credits towards a major. We also have an in-class experience that we partner with First State Community Loan Fund on, and it's called Community Up. In Community Up, we are going into underserved areas, and we are doing business planning courses with those areas of people who are unable to receive those resources on a regular basis or at all. And we, our last session, we had 16 people complete their business plans, and now we're going on to open businesses and work on starting to open their businesses. The last program I want to talk about, and Van kind of still stole my shine, but I told him to be repetitive, is our new class, which is Recipe to Success, which we are partnering with Wilmington University. So if you're interested in the food industry, a food truck, a restaurant, being a caterer, that is definitely the program that you want to be a part of. So enough with the statistics and all the technical stuff. Why are we here? We are here to celebrate you. We are here to celebrate our 12 honorees and celebrate being women in such a relevant time. And I think we all should give ourselves a hand for being those women. So if I may share a little something, I'm a fashion girl. Most people know that about me. My background is in fashion. I never in 1,000 years thought that I would be running a technical assistance program to assist people in business. But somehow, some way, I was recruited into this organization, and I have no desire to leave right now. I absolutely love what I do, and I love the clients that we serve, and I love the work that we do. And with that, I wanted to curate an event that was able to uplift, empower, and celebrate the woman. And no other time than Women's History Month. So, you ladies that are being honored tonight, I am so proud to advocate for you. I'm so proud that you have diligence and you have dedication towards your craft, towards your business, and toward our communities. And because of that, you have helped us to revitalize communities. You have helped us with health, with self-esteem, with beauty. You have also helped us give resources to communities. You have also, most importantly, helped us bring up the next generation and assist our children. And that is important. And with that being said, this is why these women are being honored. They are awesome. There is so much girl power in this room. It is. There's so much girl power. We could literally rule the world. And that is why you're being honored. So that leads me to bringing up our advisory committee member, Ms. Kelly Jones. And her and I are going to honor you women. And each of you women have 2 minutes. Please stick to the 2 minutes. You have 2 minutes to accept your award and, you know, share a small part of your story. Come on up, Kelly.
Hey. So I want to take a second really quick and give it up again for Miss Mel. What an amazing opening. Thank you. I have been a fan of Miss Mel for so long, and I'm always so excited to hear your story. Thank you for being here tonight and a part of the WBC. Love you. Love you. She is a great speaker. She is also a pastor, co-pastor with her husband at church. As you can tell, she creates such an experience. I am not. I'm not a speaker. I'm going to follow my cute little pink paper right here, and you guys just follow along. So good evening. My name is Kelly Jones, and I am one of your board members for the Women's Business Center. Tonight, I join you in celebrating Women's History Month and sharing her story and our history. As a wife, mother, and businesswoman, it's important for me to take a moment and reflect on my own family's history and how one woman's legacy has further enabled my overall success. It started in 1917 when my grandmother Cecilia was immigrated from Poland with her parents. After witnessing the death of her father, she was forced to quit school in the 8th grade so she could help her mother care for her siblings during the Great Depression. After meeting my grandfather and seeing him off to World War II, she managed to fulfill her obligations as a wife and a mother to 5 boys and 1 girl in a very small row house in the south side of Wilmington. Her focus was family, cooking, and going to church. Her occasional fun times were going next door to Dottie's beauty parlor and getting her $9 roller set every Friday. Nothing else mattered to her. She continued her life's work by standing alongside of my grandfather as he acquired the family photography studio from his father and created a city staple for all things wedding, baptisms, and confirmation. She painted every picture like it was her last. She washed out every stain until it was gone. She bandaged every wound until it healed. She cooked every meal until the cabinets were bare. And yet, as successful as her family was, she continued to be the quiet one that the clients did not see. She was the one in the kitchen that no one could hear. She was the one that never accepted a gift in return for her time, attention, and love. She was at peace with just being her. So tonight, I honor my grandmother, Cecilia, for creating an incredible history lesson for me. And I ask you now to join me in honoring an amazing group of women who are steadfast in their journey and making history for you. Ladies, please put your hands together and welcome your first honoree and also our keynote speaker for tonight's event, Ms. Jamok-Dada.
So we're giving you the honorees Crystal Acrylic Awards. They also have a special gift from one of our sponsors, Love Paparazzi, and they're the most, it's kind of the most important because it's really great that the senator thought enough to write individual letters for each honoree.
Yes.
Oh, that's Senator Thompson.
Oh, thank you. It's so thoughtful. Thank you so much.
Yes. She'll be joining us at the end of the program for her. Yeah.
Oh, 2 minutes.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I don't work here.
But this is real. These are the things that happen. So thank you for the honor. Thank you for just recognizing me, and just congratulations to everyone tonight.
Your Vice President of Design and Marketing for the Buccini Pollen Group, Ms. Sarah Lamb.
Hello. I just want to say a few words that in the past few years that I've been working in the city, that I've witnessed the silos breaking down and people and organizations really coming together to make our city a better version of what it is. And I'm just really proud to have worked with many of you towards those efforts. And I'm also proud to work for a great company that supports and promotes the engagement that I do on a daily basis, because we all know that it's very important. And I'm also thankful to be surrounded by so much talent and so much commitment everywhere I go in the city, especially with my great associates and friends that came here tonight. So thank you so much.
So the next honoree that we have, I'm super excited to introduce her. I've been following her for some time. And if any woman cares about their hair, you're definitely going to want to hear this woman speak. Deshawn Chancy, of owner Dare to Have Hair. Come on up, Deshawn. She's a lifelong lover of everything that involves beauty hair care. Deshawn found herself underwhelmed by the quality of beautiful and affordable hair extensions on the market. For years, Deshawn worked her way up in the market of corporate America, never quite living up to her full potential. After countless interactions with poor quality hair and bad customer service, she began to do extensive research, and Dare to Have Hair was born. Since its inception, Dare to Have Hair has grown exponentially. What started off as a local craze has grown into an international sensation. Amazing products coupled with customer-centric service that has helped Dare to Hair grow and thrive. She believes that every woman who contacts and trusts Dare to Hair have to fulfill their hair care needs is a person who deserves to feel as beautiful as possible inside and out. Congratulations.
Thank you guys so much. I'm so honored to be here. I'm just so happy that about 7 years ago, all I really wanted to do was to bring additional income into my home. So I prayed, and God gave me an idea, and I followed it. So I just want to encourage everyone out there that if you have an idea, or that you're praying or you're thinking on something, just don't be afraid to just go for it. Because if it sounds crazy, it's probably the most prosperous thing. The most prosperous thing that's probably going to take place in your life. So please stop sitting on your dreams and go after them and see what happens next. And thank you so much to the Women Business Center and Mr. Vaughn, for just reaching out and encouraging me, always asking me if I need any help, surrounding me around beautiful people. So thank you guys so much.
So how many moms do we have in the group? Moms? Moms! Yay for moms! So our next honoree, originally from Puerto Rico, has been in children ministries for more than 27 years. She's been a volunteer for the International Bible Society, was board member of the Women's Small Business Association, a member of the Wilmington Readiness Team, and the Early Childhood Education Council of Wilmington. In January of 2006, she opened Seeds of Jesus Daycare as a home daycare with a desire to bring a personal home touch to daycare and education. Sarah believes that children are more than a business, and a one-size-fits-all does not apply in caring, learning environment. With that in mind, Seeds of Jesus Daycare provides a Christian and bilingual education. She expanded the business in May of 2012 and is currently working with the SBA to open another center. As moms, we know how important it is to have a quality experience for your child, and I am pleased to introduce Sarah Reyes, owner of Seeds of Jesus Daycare.
She said, my name is Sarah Reyes, and I have to write everything down because I don't want to mess up with my English, so just to make sure that everybody understands. I just want to thank the Women Business Centers Association for selecting me to receive this award tonight. This is one of the most significant events of my professional career as an entrepreneur. When I made the decision to become a business owner, I knew there were challenges. The first thing I did, it was to pray to God. He put the desire in my heart, but I recognized that I need something else, His favor and His grace. My prayer, I asked Him to support me in all aspects, and in return, I will give Him all glory in everything I do. I manage a sensible and fine business. I provide education for infants and toddlers and preschoolers, the most precious treasure of each parent. There is no room for failure in my business. I have to acknowledge that abiding in God's principles, it has been the key of the success that we have over the 14 years of business. I have to thank my parents for the faith they taught me. I want to thank my husband for his unconditional support. I also want to thank my children who are always backing me up, especially Sarimar, my youngest daughter, who has been helping me since I was a homemaker. She's here. Also, I have my granddaughter over here who's following my steps. And she's always helping me in the center, finding a way to be a good helper. And at her young age, she already has some chores that she accomplishes diligently. Also, I want to thank my wonderful staff. They actually run the center with me all the time. We take decisions together, and without them, I don't know, how can I do it? And last but not least, I want to thank to the SBA for the relationship we built over the years, starting from the first business plan competition to the day I moved the daycare or the child care out of my house to become a center, a child care center, to the present when I am in the process of opening a second center. I feel so blessed. I feel so blessed to participate in your programs and professional resources I receive, and I cannot express all the thanks that I feel with simple words. Thank you.
Our next honoree is an assistant professor in the School of Public Policy and Administration through the University of Delaware, and an associate policy scientist in the Center for Community Research and Service, where she specializes in community development, neighborhood and community planning, and social justice issues. She has a master's degree in community economic development from Southern New Hampshire University, Graduate School of CED. She is a nationally recognized practitioner and expert in community economic development with over 25 years field experience in Washington, D.C., Columbus, Ohio, Voorhees, New Jersey, and Wilmington, Delaware. The theme of her professional work and research is to develop the capacity of people in economically distressed areas and who are members of marginalized societal groups to engage in obtaining knowledge, skill sets, and power to plan and implement the physical, economic, social, and cultural enhancements that will improve the quality of their lives and those of their neighbors, as well as the physical environment in which they live, work, and play. She is a proponent of the integration of people and place-based development theories and strategies. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Raheemah Jabbar-Bey.
3 years ago, I decided to own my time and talent. Does anybody understand that? Mm-hmm. And so I started RJB Consulting. And even today in this room, there are people who represent equitable development organizations and foundations that I have had the opportunity, the blessing, the grace from Allah to help. And one of them is a foundation from Philadelphia that needed training for its board of trustees and asked me to do that. Now, I'm trying to give you some examples of the work that I do. I've had the awesome opportunity to work with a national organization, NBC Leo, the National Black Association of Elected Officials. And they too, from all over the country, mayors, county executives, elected officials, strategic planning. That took months, but we loved it. And we was me, okay? And importantly, they wanted that training to be done in Wilmington. And you know why? Because of the president of City Council, who wasn't president then, but who was a very active member on the national scene. It's important that we have elected officials who do learn from their counterparts around the country. So, in addition to the foundation, in addition to NBC Leo with the National League of Cities, I've been honored to also plan and develop and work with a strategic plan for City Council of Wilmington, Delaware. Really importantly, I had an opportunity a few years ago, and I'm still in that role. I was so honored when the President CEO of the Central Baptist Community Development Corporation asked me, an Islamic woman, to be the president of their Community Development Corporation board. I am the chairwoman of Central Baptist Community Development Corporation. Now, I've given you a little hint as to why that's important, but I'm going to go through this. It's important because as people of African American heritage, our faiths do not separate us. We are all people of Abraham, and the people of the book. So the same creator that I submit to, so do you as Christians, and so do Jewish people in this country. And we've got to understand how to use our faith and our beliefs to eliminate inequities, racism, homophobia, all that stuff. I'm not going to go through all that. You know what I'm talking about. In addition, and I know I'm doing more than 2 minutes, but I didn't even know what the order was going to be. I have to say this. Anything that is negative, that separates us as people, is not based on truth. Anything that separates us as human beings is not based on truth. It's lies, weak ideas, and wrong thought. And it's our jobs as human beings who do submit to a creator to always identify those lies, those weak ideas, and wrong thought and correct it. I do that every day. I don't fear anything other than Allah. And why am I saying all that? Because I submit by doing what is right. Please hear me. So I don't advertise. This is the first time I've advertised what I do. Most people who have known me over the years throughout this country just contact me. Can you help do this? And the last thing I'm going to say, probably between the community economic development courses, the graduate students I taught in urban affairs and public policy, and just my community level work around the country, not just here, I don't even know how many people I know at this point. Sometimes it's in the thousands. And I'm so humbled that many of them email me, call me, text me. What are you doing, Professor Jabbar-Bey, Dr. Jabbar-Bey, Miss Raheemah? How can I help? How can I bring my talents and skills to help? And what are they trying to help? They're not trying to help me. They're trying to help rebuild our communities and our neighborhoods and create equity among the people. So thank you. You know I've enjoyed the opportunities I've had to sometimes teach in the course. And I also want to think, please you all, understand the importance of the First State Community Loan Fund. It's not a bank. It seeks to provide an even playing field, to provide economic opportunities to people who often are not able or who are even kept out of the banking system. So please continue to support them and the great work that they do.
Miss Megan Burke is an entrepreneur with over 18 years of experience in the service industry. She became a business owner at a young age when she bought a Philly Pretzel Factory franchise at first in Baltimore and then on Naaman's Road in Wilmington, Delaware. Has anybody had a Philly pretzel? These are good. They are good. They're good. When her Baltimore location was not successful, Megan, believing in the franchise itself, sought to open a new location elsewhere. She took over the Philly Pretzel franchise on Naaman's Road in 2009 through a lease-to-purchase option and was able to finalize the sale in 2016 with financing provided by First State Community Loan Fund. Mr. Van Hampton, stand up. Thank you. Megan is a 2004 graduate of St. Joe's University and is also a real estate agent in Medford, New Jersey for Berkshire Hathaway, Fox & Roach. Megan Burke, please join us.
So my name is Megan Burke, and I own and operate a Philly Pretzel Factory in Wilmington, Delaware. And the short bit of my story is that at the age of 26, I had a $250,000 SBA loan and was about to go belly up 6 months into the operation. I called our franchisor, Dan DeZio, and I said, Dan, listen, customers in Maryland are not inclined to purchase and consume pretzels the way they are in the Philadelphia market. I'm going to go under. Can you help? He said, Meg, I have a store in Wilmington, Delaware that's not owner-operated, and I think you could go in and turn it around. So I took the debt from my first store, a handshake agreement at the second, and I'm very happy to say that 2 years ago, I made good on the handshake agreement thanks to the help of First State Community Loan Fund. Thank you. And this past December, I made good on my SBA loan. So the operation is just about at liquid cash, and has it taken something? It's taken a heck of a lot. It's taken blood, it's taken sweat, and it's taken tears. But that's what it is to be an entrepreneur. And to be quite frank with you, pretzels aren't my passion. My passion is service, and I love people. I love making a difference. My favorite aspect of being an owner-operator is the ability to work with our employees. So we hire a lot of minimum wage employees, and they begin with us when they're in high school. They continue their entire high school career. They go on to college and often return to work with us during their Christmas and summer breaks. And the ability to watch these young employees grow and develop throughout the years is a privilege. The repeat customers that we see each and every day, whose stories we've gotten to know, they're the heart and soul of our business. We just happen to make pretzels. Thank you.
So the next honoree is a close friend of mine. She holds a very special place in my heart. And I want to take a moment to share her story, and then afterwards, I guarantee that by the end of the night, you will be inviting her to your next party. Starting out on Wall Street, a week out of high school, Miss Allen ended up at J.P. Morgan. She was offered a full tuition reimbursement and started her career in finance. She had always enjoyed being a female in a male-dominated industry. She spent 27 years in the investment banking and corporate finance industry as senior administrative assistant and personal chief of staff. And we are reminded every time we are with her. Driving back and forth to care for her parents, she started noticing all of the 18-wheelers on the road. After extensive research, she realized this male-dominated industry had great potential. We were already on the road, so why not get paid for it, she said, and she hasn't looked back since. Changing minds and perceptions, one conversation at a time, continues to be Rhonda's personal mission. Hoping to see a woman in every position men are expected to hold, Rhonda loves encouraging girls to branch out of their comfort zone when deciding on a career path and own it. Please give a warm welcome and congratulations to my great, great friend, Miss Rhonda Allen.
It is an honor, a shock, and a privilege to be honored today, and I thank you guys for having me here. All I can say is Rock'em Sock'em Transport Services, I started out accidentally. My mom had a stroke, and then everything changed. I think she had the stroke to fix my life. But strong woman, she's fine now, no tears. If it wasn't for my family, I don't know where I would be without the help from my mom, so thank you. But family does it. Now, for me, my thing tonight is about continuing and stick-to-itness. My girlfriend's mom, God bless you, Ma, one of the first graduates of Smith, 1941, had to drive with her husband in the trunk because she was fair, but the husband was black, and this is how we got back and forth. The Green Book is a light touch of what goes on. But Ma told me the one thing we lack is stick-to-itness, and she accuses us of being members of the You Not Ready Club. She says that is a thing that we do when we can commit and not finish. I'm telling you, my grandmother, not even out of high school, I've yet to meet someone smarter than my grandma, okay? But I'm just gonna say, you can get tear jerkers, you can do many things, but women are fierce. And the reason I don't have a speech is because I was between the Rite Aid pickup for my mom's prescription and being a woman is unfair, and I want to be a boy. Let me tell you. I've been up all day, and all I've gotten was the name of the company, but I'm going to tell you this. If you got an idea, I agree with what you said, and I agree, you, madam, my idol, you don't understand. The way you guys paved the way so that we can stand here and act like we have a clue, man, let me tell you. But know this, if you have an idea, the fact that I probably owe the WBC in First State Community, I owe you money, over 1,000 hours of painstaking, I should be out of business, okay? Having an operating authority, like maintaining something with the Department of Transportation, God, I don't know how people steal in government because I can't get past anything. But it is amazing that if you can stick to what it is that you're trying to get, because if it wasn't for the WBC in First State, I would be out of business. Because what is it, Troy? You just don't know what you don't know until you don't know it. I mean, I am surprised by the things and the people in this room who've helped me, the people who I've cried in front of going, I don't know what I'm doing, and they're like, keep going anyway. They're all in this room showing you that if you can just take your idea and keep going, because women are bad and we are fierce, and we can keep it going, whatever your dream is. Don't stop. I don't care how small it is. Don't let someone tell you it's a stupid idea. Don't. Fail because you didn't do it. And remember, an idea without a plan is just a dream, okay? If you can put it to something, and if you're not sure if you want to do, let these people help you. Don't take your ideas and throw them away and let other people dream for you. I just say, keep going. You need the support of each other, and we need this program so that we can get out here and let people know that we want to hire everybody.
Our next honoree entered community service through Public Allies Delaware in 2004, where she served as program manager for the Hearts and Mind Film Initiative of Serbian Media. She has long been an advocate for education reform, serving on the Wilmington Education Advisory Committee, Wilmington Education Improvement Commission, and most recently as the director of the Parent Advisory Council on Education at the Christina Cultural Arts Center. Elizabeth Tizzy Lockman was elected to the State Senate in November 2018 and represents communities in and surrounding Central and West Wilmington. Her district is one of the most diverse and densely populated in Delaware. She was raised in Wilmington's Cool Spring neighborhood. Please join me in welcoming my senator, your senator, Miss Elizabeth Tizzy Lockman.
I will be really brief. I am more than happy to yield my time to all these wonderful women. I just want to thank WBC for putting on this event and allowing me to stand with all of you. And my story is not particularly unique, though I'm here tonight not as a businesswoman, but as a stateswoman, a new one. I think it's the first time I've called myself that. So as was already mentioned, I won my first ever election last year. I think someone was mentioning before, sometimes you have just a crazy idea and that might be a good sign that you should go for it. I would definitely say running for office was falling into that category. And I had the opportunity to do that on the heels of the first ever woman of color who ever served in the Delaware State Senate's retirement. So I want us to kind of think about that. We're only at our second woman of color serving in Delaware State Senate in the entire history of the legislature in 2019. It's kind of scary. But what that means is that for over 200 years, women who look like most of us in this room were not making the laws that shape the context for the lives that we live, the businesses that we run, and how we raise our families and all those kinds of things. So just to be very, very brief, while of course I want us to celebrate all of our accomplishments because we're talking about our history, I want us to reflect on how serious that is and that while we're making progress, we're not making maybe as much progress as we could be. So I want us to be very thoughtful about all of the work that we have before us, particularly when it comes to civic engagement, being attentive to public policy, and just how that lays the groundwork for everything in our lives. So I don't want to belabor that point. I'm just extremely proud to be here among so many diverse women. And if you don't think that it makes a difference to have diverse women down there, one of the first things that we did when after being sworn into office was we were able to encode the Equal Rights Amendment into the Delaware State Constitution. And so what that says is, yeah, you go ahead, is that equality of rights under the law shall not be denied or abridged on the account of sex. Hopefully next we'll be able to put race in there as well, maybe in the next couple of years. And that's just the beginning. We have a lot more women serving at this point. We're able to bring a women's touch to things like significant criminal justice reform, building an education system, or rather rebuilding an educational system that really embraces and serves all people, and setting the stage for economic development that's inclusive and sets us up for success in the city of Wilmington and all the towns in Delaware. And so please, I hope that you all get involved on that level and support good policy, because in order for the voices of the women in Dover to be heard, we really need your support. And our voices need to be heard. It's long past time that we made folks listen in Dover and made a difference.
Our next honoree, Ms. Christian Waller, has a consulting practice providing nonprofit, government, and faith-based organizations with strategic planning, community development, and fundraising services. She also coordinates Neighborhoods First, a network of residents, civic associations, churches, and community organizations advocating for policies to promote community and economic development in Wilmington and Delaware.
So after serving as ED of a nonprofit and director of a community development organization, I realized three things. One is how difficult it is to run programs and fundraise. Two, all the amazing work that's going on in the city of Wilmington, and the amazing organizations and the amazing people and the amazing vision and understanding that they have for their communities. And three, what a big need there is in Wilmington for youth programs, for economic development, for job training. So I asked myself, how can I put my skills to grow this work? So I started a business writing grants for nonprofit organizations, and I feel so happy to be part of bringing resources to community work in Wilmington. So I want to thank the Women's Business Center for supporting women entrepreneurs, because when you have your own business, you're on a path. And it's a path that's about your livelihood, but it's also about making your maximum impact. So thank you.
Our next speaker is a favorite of mine. You all may know her as the owner of A. Scott Enterprises, SBDC, and recently retired from Delaware State University. Ms. Audrey is the Center for Business Growth Director for the Delaware Financial Literacy Institute, where she mentors and coaches new and expanding businesses in an incubator setting. For 11 years, she served as an enterprise consultant and as a project manager for the Food Business Incubation Center for Delaware State's University Delaware Center for Enterprise Development. She has also instructed youth across the state in DCED's Junior Entrepreneurs and Training Program, taught numerous courses in the College of Business, and has worked with the University of Delaware's We Think program as a volunteer business advisor. Please help me welcome my friend and yours, Ms. Audrey Scott-Hynson.
Those of you who want, I want you to change that want into an I am. okay? Please do that. You sit today and you listen to 12 people, and we've done the journey. I agree with everything everybody said. It's a lot of wisdom. We won't always be around, and that's a good thing. Homegoing's a good thing if you live right. And you need to take advantage of the people who are here and ready to share, like my sister there, and all of these people with all of this wisdom. We are trying to unload it. We really are. We're trying to unload it. Ellen, where'd Ellen go? We're trying to unload it. My desire is to retire. But as God has given us all a mission, he's also given me one, and I can't retire until I fulfill that mission. But a very small part of that mission is to unload everything that is in here to somebody who is thirsting out there. Get yourself in the position wherein you are strong enough and bold enough to be who you are. Stop hoping, stop wishing. Get that thing inside of you out front. You deserve it. And it's yours. And you will never feel the victory of life until it comes out. The best thing I ever did was to start my own business. Awesome. I love what I do. Like everybody else, I was scared. The signs weren't there. And there's no sign that you're going to be able to pay rent or go buy a loaf of bread. There's no sign. It's a risk. But it has to be a calculated risk. Get in the Women's Business Center programs. Maximize your profit and minimize your risk by developing a business plan, working with people, talking to people. Go through that business plan so Sarah can say, Dan, I got somebody I'm sending to you. It can be done. You've seen that. So I'm just asking everybody, actually I'm begging everybody, because like I said, I want to retire. You are holding me up from retiring. I need to help you while I can. So get out there and do what you need to do. The greatest, that I always stand by this. And it's Mark Twain's quote. I saw it and I never let it go. The two most important days in your life, the day you were born and the day you find out why.
Miss Angela Grayson is a counseling and creative arts psychotherapy practitioner in Wilmington, Delaware, and also the CEO of Good Fruit Expressive Arts Counseling and Psychotherapy, LLC. She infuses a unique blend of psychology and the arts for executive stress management and promotion of healthy relationships among women. Among her numerous licensing and board-certified accomplishments, Dr. Angela is a long-term adjunct professor for graduate students at Drexel University in the Creative Arts Therapy and Counseling Department. In addition, she is an adjunct professor for undergraduate students in the Psychology Department at Wilmington University. Please join me in welcoming Miss Angela Grayson.
How awesome is this? I am so humbled and honored to be standing before you for the work that I do in the community concerning mental health. As we know, mental health still today has such a horrible stigma because of how it's portrayed in media and TV shows and commercials. And you see the commercials with all these crazy side effects, and they give you the extreme version of what's really going on in a person's life. Anybody who is suffering from any type of mental disorder, mental health issue, normal people, they just think differently. That's all. That's all it is. Their moods are different. So I encourage you to continue to take care of yourself. Self-care is number one. Get enough rest, change your diet. You will be surprised. You won't even need most of these medications that they're telling you that you need. It's all about living right, taking time for yourself, really focusing on who you are, who you're meant to be, finding somebody who will listen. My job, great listener. Great listener. That's why I do what I do. People are like, oh, go fellowship, go mingle. I don't like to mingle. I don't like to fellowship. But you're a doctor. You're a psychologist. My job as a doctor of psychology is to listen, to observe, so that I can help you, guide you, mold you, tell you what I see and how you can be better. So enjoy. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this honor, for the privilege, and love to you all.
Our last honoree holds a very special place in my heart. Communication is her superpower. She collaborates with entrepreneurs and organizational leaders, helping them build strong foundations, stimulate interest, deliver great content, establish relevance, rock innovation, and rein in profits. An award-winning entrepreneur and esteemed scholar, she earned a bachelor's degree in finance and an MBA in marketing management from Wilmington University and a credential from Harvard Business School in disruptive strategy. Among her numerous awards, she was named to Wilmington University's inaugural Top 50 Distinguished Alumni list. An advocate of women's interests, she has served at the Office of Women's Advancement and Advocacy Delaware Women's Hall of Fame event, taught workshops at the Girl Scouts of the Chesapeake Bay and YWCA of Delaware, and supports causes that promote women's excellence in wellness, business, collaboration, education, and fiscal growth. She is currently pursuing her doctorate in business administration, where she focuses on the presence, parity, and progression of women, especially those of color, in leadership positions. Please join me in the finale of honoring my great, great friend. I'm so proud of you right now, and I'm sure everyone is. Please, yes, holding down NYC in the building, Miss Geneva Fonda.
First and foremost, I'm going to thank the Creator for my life, okay? Yes. For traveling mercies, not just to myself and for my son, but for all of us here. We made it here safely, yes. Okay? In addition, I want to thank Sarah and the WBC for this great, great acknowledgement, considering the fact that, unlike many of the honorees here, I actually am not a client of the WBC or First State Loan. However, one of the words in that title is community. And apparently, people thought it's sufficient to nominate me for this acknowledgement because of my support of other women and people just in general. So for those reasons, I am truly, truly grateful, And just really, I'm gonna do my best to, one, not cry, because I'm born and raised in Brooklyn, and I don't cry publicly. And two, to not use up any more of your time than I need to. So here, it says her story. I'll quickly share something with you because I'm very excited that the Girl Scouts of Chesapeake Bay is here. And children, and my son has an idea of the story, but for you all as well. So as you know now, I'm born and raised in New York City. I'm one of 6 children. I'm the second of 6 children, right? I wanted to be a doctor, a medical doctor, but that wasn't to be my path. I wanted to enter the Marines, but my mother said no, because I would have been the first female from a family that where only men went to the Army. I entered a high school that was a top-tier VOTEC high school for Brooklyn that required admissions it required an interview before you would even be considered, admitted or extended an invitation. I got into that school based on my grades alone, so I never had to do an interview. A year and a half after graduating high school, I became a teenage parent. I was 19 years old and I was 9 months pregnant, and even though I had a high school education and all of that, life wasn't perfect. I was attacked when I was 9 months pregnant, trying to save my mother's life, okay? And just some time later, days later, my mother passed away. And because relatives didn't have the emotional strength to do it, the pregnant human gave the eulogy. After I gave the eulogy, I went into 10 months of pregnancy. And upon delivering my firstborn into this world, I almost lost her. She almost died, okay? But I was still determined, even though I wasn't going to be a medical doctor at that point, and I was a single parent, I was determined to still further my education and serve the community because it was important to always give back, always, because what I never, ever, 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 ever lacked was support. Yes, I'm one of 6 children, but I'm also one of nearly 30 grandchildren, okay? I support people as much as I'm humanly capable of doing. Fast forward some years, I was blessed to enter college as a wife and a mother raising 2 daughters, working full-time and when appropriate, going to school full-time as well. History. I am the first person, and I don't typically share this publicly, but they know, I'm the first person in my family to graduate from college. My mother, thank you. My mother was the first person to enter college, Pace University, but I was the first one to graduate from college. I was the first one to graduate from college not just one time, but many times over. I was the first person to be accepted into an Ivy League school when I wasn't even trying to. I completed the Harvard program while I was completing my MBA after I had gotten divorced and was raising my child left to raise, while still serving the community. And these ladies know I never ask for favors, help, or anything like that. Okay? So, to my Girl Scouts, to all children here, and to my fellow women in business, my leaders, to the men who support all of us, and to my future king and leader and video tech engineer human, and piano maestro, I want to encourage each and every one of you, where possible but without detriment to yourself, to help where you can. One of the areas in my doctoral journey was to learn more about leadership and the various leadership types. I learned that I'm a servant leader. My needs don't come first. Many of us who are parents and mates of others know what that's like. So, I just want to encourage you all to serve each other. I'm the first person, when I complete this degree, 2.5 years, pray for it, girl. I will be the first doctor of any kind on either side of my family. Okay? So, thank you. So, again, be encouraged to be good to each other. Please do not look for reasons to have dark energy around people. Yes. And if you possess dark energy, surround yourself with as much light, AKA people, so you can burst it on to other people. Because the children are watching, okay? So again, Sarah, my girl Kelly, anyone who nominated me, everyone who thought I was appropriate for this acknowledgement, thank you all so very much, so much. Thank you.
So just to get started, I know she read my bio, but I'll just tell you a little bit more about my background before I jump into my words for today. So what wasn't included is the fact that I am a first-generation American. I'm Nigerian American. I am two generations away from women that were illiterate, didn't go to school, didn't go to college. My dad migrated here in the 70s. And went to school in Michigan and eventually moved to Brooklyn, New York. So I have some things in common with you. And that's where I'm the one of 6 as well. I'm the second oldest. And that's where my story began. Grew up in Brooklyn. I was very much like an artsy person. I was into like dance, art, I can draw, things like that. And it wasn't until I got to college. Growing up, I always thought I would do something in the arts. I really wanted to work in entertainment. But fast forward to college, I was struggling with what I should study in school. So I started college young. I started when I was 16 because I skipped a year of school when I was younger. So when I got there, I just didn't know what I wanted to do, what I wanted to study, and I struggled with that. Because on the one hand, I was this artsy, creative person, but my schoolwork was showing that I was stronger in another space. So I ended up interning at a company, and then when I got back, I realized that, maybe I don't want to work in entertainment or pursue law. So I started looking at my coursework, and I saw that I was really, really strong in math and science. I did not want to study medicine. My dad ended up becoming a microbiologist, and my mom was a registered nurse. And so I knew medicine was out for me. I didn't want to do medicine. I didn't want to study engineering. So I went with computer information science. Now, looking back, it all makes sense. That was supposed to be my path. But I just struggled with that part of me that was very artsy. So I share that because I'll share a few more things. So I graduated. Before I left college, I had a job waiting for me in Philadelphia, and I started working as an application developer for a major company. So I worked in the corporate space for years, and then I just came to a crossroads where I just didn't like technology. I didn't like IT. Everything that's going on now with women in tech didn't exist at that time. Now it's a great time to be in technology, but then I didn't really have a lot of support, and I was just struggling with, whether or not I wanted to move back to New York, stay in Philadelphia, etc. So an opportunity presented itself, and instead of getting another job in the corporate space in IT, I said, you know what, I've always been like a creative person. I wasn't doing anything with my real estate certification. And I said, you know what, I think I'm just gonna go out on my own. So I ended up starting Signature Red, and I went totally left. I went away from IT. I started working with women, women entrepreneurs. I've always had a knack with women, a good rapport with women, and I've always naturally been a marketer, a connector, a creative person. And I just found myself, just while I was out, I would talk to women. A lot of people were like me, they had full-time jobs, but they had this side hustle, something that they wanted to do on the side that they were really passionate about. And I was just giving them advice, telling them what they needed to do. And then I realized that I wanted my company to focus around women, helping women, supporting women, making sure that they had the resources that they needed, the exposure that they needed. So I initially started off hosting a lot of events, workshops, everything from learning how to golf, learning how to take care of your car, everything that women needed to learn how to do to survive. Then fast forward in 2000, I think it was in 2013, I just started hearing a lot about women in tech, women in STEM. There was initiatives coming down from the Obama administration regarding STEM. And I said, oh wow, I didn't even know that, they were looking for women like myself. So I ended up pivoting and just getting back into technology. But I did so as a consultant, which is what I still do today. So today I consult, I provide services to companies as well as create tools and resources for women in tech, like the Tech Women Network. I also, last year I produced the very first tech summit for women of color in tech, and it was phenomenal. So I'm in the process of planning the second one now, and I've just been really, really passionate about drawing out more of the women that work behind the scenes in technology. There's a lot of women that are kind of on their way out. They're discouraged, or they feel stuck in their position. They're not moving into managerial levels. And I'm just encouraging them to stay, exposing them to other opportunities like public speaking, like mentoring, and letting them know that now is the time to come forth. If we're going to talk about pipeline issues, digital divide, et cetera, they need to know that these girls need to see you. They need to see the women that are behind the scenes building servers, cloud architects, et cetera, because you aspire to be who you can see. And oftentimes, women that are in technical roles are introverted, and they tend to just do their work and just go home. So that's one of the passions that I've been really pursuing lately, is just to encourage more women to step forth and tell their stories. So my role, my story and my journey as an entrepreneur is taking different directions, and I've had to pivot, and I've also encountered a number of just different obstacles. This entrepreneurship is not for the faint at heart. It was definitely very comfortable to work in the corporate setting. I mean, every setting has its pros and cons. But in my case, it was comfortable choosing to be an entrepreneur when I didn't know business. I didn't know, I was a technologist, so I had to learn how to write a business plan. I had to learn marketing. I had to learn how to just do certain things that I just didn't know how to do. So, I went through the roller coaster of it all, and I'm thankful for all of it. But with that said, the women here tonight, you're clearly being honored because you've accomplished major things and you've given back to the community in a number of ways. And when I was thinking about what to talk about tonight, I know that it's Women's History Month, and I know that it's appropriate to talk about the stories of women that have accomplished great feats. We do, as women, I forget which one of the sisters said it, we are phenomenal, we are strong, we are fierce, we do a lot, and we carry a lot as well. And it's not always easy. So rather than talk about that, I wanted to talk a little bit about the realness, like the things that we think about, the things that keep us up at night, the things that worry us, the things that make us cry, the things that that really, you know, hinder us in some ways. So I'm calling those things, for the purpose of tonight, I'm calling those things snakes. We all have our own path to success. We have a journey that we're taking. And in that, we're going to encounter different hills and valleys, different roads, and different obstacles. And in that, there are times when you have to like step back and just kind of take a look at what it is that you're doing, why. You have to really conjure up enough strength and energy to keep going. If you don't have support, you have to find it. So these are the things that I'm calling snakes. And we're going to get a little creative. So the 7 snakes to watch out for on your path to success. All right, so the first one is what I call security. This is the snake that makes you complacent. This is the snake that makes you comfortable. This is the snake that tells you you're doing enough. This is the snake that makes you settle, okay? This is when you think you've arrived, or you think that there's no more work to be done. But it's not true. More often than not, there's still more work to be done in your journey, and you just have to just know how to attack it when that comes, when you feel that complacency, or when you feel tired, or when you feel like you can't go on. And the way that you do that is to know, one, you should have people that you look up to. You should have someone, a picture in your head, a picture in your mind of what it is that you want to accomplish and who's doing it. And use them as a form of inspiration to help keep you going in those times. The other thing is that you also have to have backup plans. Like security, it's not always real. You know, the thing, a lot of people, we're all, you know, there's the statement that we're all one paycheck away from, I forget the quote, but it's real. She knows the statement. But it's very real. So even when you have those times where your business is doing great, you know, make sure that you're saving, make sure that you have backup plans, even make sure, not even just financially, just other things can happen, like your computer can die, you know, you can lose all your passwords. Like, just always don't get so comfortable that if something happens, you lose everything. Don't rely so heavily on platforms like the Facebooks, like the Instagrams. That can't be the lifeline of your business, because if that goes away, then what? So watch out for that snake of security. The next snake is what I call self-doubt. That's when you just start to question a lot of what you're doing and why, and you just doubt. You doubt yourself, you doubt what you're doing, and the purpose of that snake is just simply to hold you back. If you start it, you can finish. Don't let that snake talk you out of what is already predestined for you. You're on your path, keep going, stay focused, and just stomp it and keep it moving. The next snake is what I call solitude, and that's for those solopreneurs, those people that work alone, and sometimes you feel alone. You feel like no one understands what you're doing. You feel like you don't have the support that you need. You don't have all of the resources you need, and you just feel alone, but you're not. That snake is false. It's a facade. You have support. You have organizations like this one. You have the internet. You have groups. You should never be at a point in your business where you feel like no one cares and you don't have a support. If you feel that and you're along your path, then you have to push past that feeling. You have to press past it and seek out. You have to be proactive and seek out the support that you need, because you're not alone. There's many people like myself that we're solopreneurs. So there are communities you can join, there are organizations you can join, but you have to be proactive in seeking them out. The next snake is what I will call slander. And that's that is rooted in envy and often disguised as, okay? It's rooted in envy and often disguised as concern, help, or enlightenment. If your business is thriving, if you are doing well, it's just something that you may encounter. It could even come from family, it can come from friends, it can just be people that don't understand that you are growing, that you are not the same, that your life requires different things. So this, okay, okay. So this is a snake that's just meant to take you off your rocking horse. Just know that it exists and keep it moving. You cannot, and then when appropriate, you address it head on. You don't let anything sit out there that's not true about you that can ultimately impact your business. You address it, you get in front of it, and you deal with it, and you keep it moving. The next snake is what I will call silence. That's the snake that makes you think that no one cares, or it confuses you. It makes you question what it is that you're doing, and it makes you just again feel like you're not being heard, or your needs are not being met. So the way you attack that snake is to make some noise. You pray, you dance, you find a girl power song to get you going, but you cannot stay in that space where you feel like you're not being supported or you're not being appreciated. The next is what I will call the snake that's the spy. This snake serves no purpose. It just watches you. It's only there to watch you and just to take up space. You know, all you need to do for that snake is make a mental note and keep it moving. Know that it's there watching, let it watch, and keep going. And what I will call the final snake is selfish ambition. Selfish ambition is something that needs to be checked. And the reason why is because even if you're on this path, if you're on this journey towards success, it can knock you down leaps and bounds, okay? It can stunt your growth, your progress, and your profit. It affects your motivation. It can cause you to lose respect. It can isolate you, and it can turn you into a greedy person. So whatever it is that you're doing in your business, you always have to stay grounded in your why. What are you doing? Who are you doing it for, and why? And the reason why is because, as I said, as you're moving along your path, you're going to have to, there are times where you're going to have to look in the mirror and check yourself. There are times where you're going to have to look in the mirror and remind yourself why it is that you're doing this work when you feel alone, or when you feel isolated, or when you feel unappreciated, or when you're putting out fires. These are the times that it's really important to stand on your foundation, okay? And so those are the 7 snakes that I encourage you to look out for on your path to success. As I shared, this road, this entrepreneurial road is not for the faint at heart, but if you started it, you can finish. If you need the help, there is help out there. If you need support, there are people here. If you need a friend, be friendly. Okay? Okay? Just know that there are other people that are in your same boat that understand. None of us have it all together. I'm not standing here speaking to you because everything is peachy creamy and I'm a billionaire. That is not the case. But I stand on intellect, ambition, and who I am authentically. And that's how I operate, and that's how I succeed. Thank you.